Welcome to my channel. Today we will travel back in time over 2 million years ago during the Pleistocene epoch, an age of ice, also known as the Ice Age. The Pleistocene epoch lasted from about 2.6 million to 11,700 years ago. During this time, there were many glacial periods when large parts of the Earth's surface were covered by glaciers. Between these glacial periods were warmer interglacial periods like the one we are living in now. The Pleistocene epoch is sometimes called the Ice Age because during that time, the Earth's average surface temperature was much colder than today. The coldest periods were the glacial periods, when great ice sheets covered much of North America, Northern Europe, and Northern Asia. At the height of the last ice sheet, which began about 20,000 years ago, it is estimated that around 30% of the Earth's total land area was covered by ice, and the ice sheets themselves reached thicknesses of more than 4 kilometers. The beginning of the Pleistocene epoch is marked by the first appearance of Homo heidelbergensis. This species of early humans lived in Africa, Europe, and Western Asia. However, they soon went extinct. But before their extinction, some members of their species migrated to different regions of the world, where they gave rise to new species of early humans, such as Homo neanderthalensis in Europe and Homo sapiens in Africa. It is believed that these early humans developed the ability to speak, create more sophisticated tools, and build shelters which helped them survive the harsh conditions of the Ice Age. They also hunted large mammals such as mammoths and other herbivores who had adapted to cold environments. For example, the woolly mammoth had thick fur and a layer of fat under its skin to keep it warm. In addition, they used caves as shelter from the cold and the elements. Some of these early humans even started to farm and domesticate animals. For example, the evidence suggests that in some areas of the world, people started to grow crops such as wheat and barley, and to raise animals such as sheep and goats. These early forms of agriculture allowed people to settle in one place and raise food instead of having to constantly move in search of food. Throughout the Pleistocene epoch, there were several ice ages, each lasting thousands of years. During these ice ages, the climate became colder and drier, leading to the formation of vast glaciers. As the glaciers expanded, they buried large areas of land, altering the course of rivers and creating new lakes and mountains. These changes in the environment had a profound impact on the flora and fauna of the Earth. Many species of plants and animals went extinct, while others adapted to the new conditions. For example, some mammals developed thick coats of fur or blubber to keep them warm, while others migrated to warmer regions. Some plant species developed the ability to survive in cold temperatures or in dry conditions, while others went extinct. As the climate fluctuated between glacial and interglacial periods, the Earth's biodiversity changed dramatically. During the coldest periods, only the most adaptable species survived. But as the climate warmed, new species appeared and the diversity of life increased again. The Pleistocene epoch was also a time of great migrations. As the ice sheets advanced and retreated, they pushed large herds of mammals from one region to another. For example, during the last Ice Age, the ancestors of modern humans migrated out of Africa into Europe and Asia. They brought with them new technologies and skills that allowed them to adapt to the cold climate. They also competed for resources with other species of early humans, such as the Neanderthals, who eventually went extinct. Around 12,000 years ago, the climate began to warm again, marking the end of the last Ice Age. This period of warming, known as the Holocene, saw the retreat of the glaciers and the return of warmer temperatures. As the climate warmed, new species of plants and animals appeared, and the diversity of life increased. The melting of the glaciers also led to rising sea levels and the formation of new islands. This created new habitats and allowed for the diversification of many species. During the Pleistocene epoch, there were several major extinctions of plants and animals. One of the most well-known extinctions was that of the woolly mammoth, which went extinct around 10,000 years ago. Other large mammals that went extinct during this time include the Irish elk, the giant ground sloth, and the saber-toothed cats. There are several theories to explain why so many species went extinct during the Pleistocene epoch. One theory is that the changing climate was simply too rapid for many species to adapt. As the ice sheets advanced and retreated, they caused major changes in the environment, including changes in temperature, precipitation, and food availability. Species that were unable to adapt to these changes went extinct. Another theory is that humans played a role in the extinction of some species. As humans migrated into new regions, they hunted many of the large mammals that lived there, such as mammoths and mastodons. They may have also introduced new diseases that these animals had no resistance to. Additionally, humans likely competed with some species for resources such as food and shelter. And as humans spread across the globe, they may have destroyed some species' habitats. It is important to note that not all scientists agree on the causes of the Pleistocene extinctions and the relative importance of factors such as climate change and human activity. Some scientists argue that climate change was the primary driver of extinctions, while others argue that human activity played a more significant role. Whatever the cause, the extinctions that occurred during the Pleistocene epoch had a profound impact on the history of life on Earth. They paved the way for the rise of new species and the diversification of life during the Holocene epoch. As the climate warmed and stabilized, forests began to grow in many regions that had previously been covered in ice. This created new habitats for plants and animals and led to the rise of new species. The Holocene also saw the rise of agriculture and the domestication of animals, which led to the development of human settlements and the growth of cities. Today, we are still living in the Holocene epoch, which began around 12,000 years ago. The climate is generally warmer than it was during the Pleistocene epoch, and the Earth's biodiversity is greater than it has been in millions of years. However, human activity is causing rapid changes in the climate and the environment. These changes are already having an impact on the distribution and abundance of many species and could lead to new extinctions. Studying the Ice Age or Pleistocene epoch helps us understand the history of our planet and the forces that have shaped it over time. By learning about the climate, plants, and animals of the Ice Age, we can better understand the changes that have occurred since then and the impact that humans have had on the environment. It also helps us predict what might happen in the future if the climate changes rapidly again. For example, by studying the effects of past ice ages on species distribution and abundance, we can get a better idea of how current climate change might affect different species. This information can help us develop strategies to protect vulnerable species and ecosystems. Overall, studying the Ice Age is essential for understanding the history of our planet and the forces that have shaped it over time. By learning about the Ice Age, we can better understand the changes that have occurred since then and the impact that humans have had on the environment. It also helps us predict what might happen in the future if the climate changes rapidly again. So let me know in the comments what you think about the Ice Age, and if you enjoyed watching this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. See you next time.